au Louvre. C'est important les règles des tiers, ça rend les gens belles.
Là on est lundi.
Del primo pilone. Una parte del primo pilone è stata inglobata dalla moschea. Mi lasci vedere il centro della moschea. Questa parte qua.
You remember the photos that I showed you when we were in the Valley of the Kings, and how high the street level was at that time, and significant part of the temple was covered. If you take a look over here, you can see a mosque, and that was the entrance of the mosque at that time. So this was the street level. See how high the temple was covered by sand at that time? That was the street level. It took some time to remove all of that, and also the mosque refused to leave, so it's still built on the temple, but now the entrance is from the other side. Okay.
So to sum it up, everything you're going to see today in this whole temple area was not visible or apparent. It was buried under sand up until the 18th and 19th century when excavations began. So can you imagine 3,000 years of Egyptian culture? What else is buried under sand right now?
Here you can see another statue of Ramses II sitting on his throne chair. And on the side of the throne chair over here, there's a sign which we call it the Sema Tawi sign, which is a union between the lotus flower and the papyrus flower.
Go ahead.
And the god Habi, the god of the Nile, both sides, tying them together, which was the two signs of Lower and Upper Egypt. And that means that Lower and Upper Egypt was in a union in his hair.
Okay, that's the top. Okay.
Qu'est-ce qu'on voit ici? On voit deux statues. Ces statues-là.
Here you can see a statue for King Tut, the moon. On the other side over here, the god, the moon Rani is what the god is not. They're not in a very good shape, as you can see, but we'll be working on restoring them more in the future time. Any temple that you are going to visit, you are going to find always, when you are standing in front of the main entrance, by end of your sight you will be seeing the sanctuary of the temple, or the sanctorum of the temple, as we call it in some parts. Over here you can see the columns having a different shape, like a bundle of papyrus plant, and the crown is having the name of the king in the cartouches over there. There is always no ceiling in the temples, so the god Amun-Ra can enter the temple, like what we have seen in the temple of Karnak and over here. We'll go this way. There's something unique that I want to show you. Remember when we were talking about the graffiti that the Christians added to the tomb while they were hiding over there?
Right.
Also, they were hiding in this part, and they added a plaster layer over here, and they added some Roman drawings over here. The early Christians while they were over here.
Was that early Christians?
Yes. The whole part, they transferred it into a church, but the plaster layer didn't last much. The whole the whole wall was covered by this layer, but it fell down. We kept it as it is, trying to keep the history as it was. Even they added the shell and the Hellenic columns over here, which is totally different than the ancient Egyptian.
No. Come on out. You're okay. You're okay. I'm just taking a video. Not taking a picture. You can be in the video. Can you believe this was all hidden under the sand for over 2,000 years up till just 150 years ago when it was excavated? This again is the giant jigsaw puzzle area where excavation of ruins where pieces have not been identified where they go and are stored here and ID'd, and eventually we'll find a matchup, it's presumed. If you notice on these columns, you can see where cylindrical slices have been spliced together. And that's how the columns in the later period were done. But an interesting fact is that in the Old Kingdom, had used completely uniform one-piece columns made out of granite, and these are sandstone, which is easier to work. local school outing. Here's more puzzle pieces for the grand jigsaw puzzle as it's going to be assembled here. We are now entering the Avenue of the Sphinxes. It's also known as the King's Festivities Road or Rams Road. The avenue was a grand processional way, approximately 2.7 kilometers long, that once connected the two major temples of Luxor. That was the Karnak Temple in the north and the Luxor Temple in the south. The avenue was primarily used during the annual Opet festival. This was a crucial religious event where statues of Theban triad of gods, Amun, Mut, and Khonsu, were carried in a magnificent procession from Karnak to Luxor Temple, symbolically reenacting the marriage of Amun and Mut and the rejuvenation of the king's divine power. It is estimated that originally over 1,300 Sphinx statues lined both sides of this sacred road. While not all have survived, over 1,000 have been recovered and are in various states of preservation. The sphinxes along the avenue are not all identical. There are three main types. First, it's a ram-headed sphinx. That was predominantly found closer to the Karnak temple, and these have the body of a lion and the head of a lamb, which is a sacred animal of the god Amun. Often smaller statues of kings were placed between their front paws, symbolizing Amun's protection. These were mainly erected during the reign of Tutankhamun. Making up the larger portion of the avenue, especially towards Luxor Temple, these sphinxes have the traditional lion's body and a human head, typically representing the pharaoh as a guardian and embodying royal power and wisdom. Many of these were created during the reign of Nectanebo in the 30th dynasty, and those are similar to the sphinx we see in Giza Plateau. However, at the Giza Plateau, the head size is disproportionately small, and that could be thought, or some people think, that some later pharaoh recarved it in his own image, which was often done. The avenue was later renovated by the Ptolemaic queen Cleopatra and even used by the Romans. Over the centuries, the Avenue of the Sphinxes became buried under layers of sand, just like the rest of the temple complex, and was largely lost, although its existence was known from ancient texts. The first traces were found in 1949, with significant excavation efforts continuing over the decades. After extensive restoration work, the that spanned over 7 decades, a complete avenue of sphinxes was officially reopened to the public in a grand ceremony on November 25th, 2021, which was only 3 or 4 years ago. This marked a significant moment in preserving and showcasing Egypt's heritage. The sphinxes themselves are a powerful symbol in ancient Egyptian culture, representing loyalty, royalty, strength, and guardianship. The avenue as a whole was a vital artery for religious and royal power, connecting the two most important temple complexes in Thebes, which is Luxor now. Tourists here, as you can see, abound, just like myself, that are amazed and want to get a look up close and personal of this amazing archaeological site.